Hello there, and before I get into today's video, I'd just like to point out I've realised over 90% of you are not subscribed, so what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed. But as I open these Bricklink orders, you'll see that I've ordered various parts, including mostly lightsaber elements, as a few comments that you can see on screen now pointed out that not only were there glow-in-the-dark lightsaber elements, but there were also trans orange elements that go so well with my Ahsoka minifigures. And I thought with a new episode of Ahsoka just coming out, I'll get to that in a minute, but there is no better time to apply these new lightsaber pieces than right now. So as you can see, I'm taking my Ahsoka minifigure here and just popping off the white lightsaber pieces, trying to keep the hilts in her hands. However, that is clearly not possible, and I've got two varieties of glow-in-the-dark lightsaber pieces. And one of these is a trans blade that glows in the dark, and the other one is just pure white. And although LEGO have decided to go with the clear element, I just think the white looks a little better, especially as Ahsoka's blades are white rather than being a more clear colour. And the reason why the screen might seem a little dark at the minute is because I have a UV light at hand that will just show how these lightsabers glow when it gets dark. And as you can see, they do have a green hint, so perhaps these will be better suited for some of my minifigures with green sabers. However, in the dark, I'll take a picture to put on screen now. I think these look amazing. Now, there were two red, or to be more specific, orange lightsaber blades here. You may be wondering who they're for, or you may know that Balon and Shin in the trailers and when we see them have lightsaber blades that are closer to orange than they are red. And so of course I've bought them trans orange blades thanks to the other comment that you would have already seen. And as you can see, I think it just improves how they look and takes my custom minifigures to the next step. Now that my Balon and Shin are fully complete, you can just see what I mean by what LEGO could have given us with the hoods and the cloaks and the orange lightsaber elements. And even with Ahsoka using the new translucent blade elements, we could have got some glow-in-the-dark sabers, or even some white frosted ones, as they seem to be dishing out these new frosted saber elements, and I am not complaining. Now you may also remember I created my custom Morgan Elsbeth and Thrawn minifigures, and you can see they're standing there in front of all the other builds I've recently constructed. Well, I decided that for episode 3 I'd add 2 more to my collection from the last 2 episodes. And from episode 1 I created Sabine. Now I didn't have any purple hair, so I'm afraid I had to put a helmet on her to show what she's like when she's driving her speeder, and perhaps this would be a cool minifigure to include in my second wave of speeder mocks. And I also managed to piece together this custom Marok figure. Now of course they don't look too alike, but given the pieces I managed to recreate the torso piece and give it that Inquisitor feel. And this helmet, whilst not being as accurate as you might like, isn't too far away from the one that he wears. Now with these new minifigures added and the new elements replacing the old ones, you can see just how many minifigures you are able to create with custom parts you may have laying around. I hope you enjoy seeing all my custom minifigures, as I do enjoy making them, and these are the reason why I'm not picking up half of the Ahsoka sets, as I do already have most of the figures at hand. Now I was looking at creating a custom Hyang, and I do remember there being a gold version of Zane from Ninjago, but I couldn't find the minifigure, as I think that head with some sort of golden pirate hat will look close enough to a custom Hyang. I just need to get together the pieces. But speaking of LEGO Ahsoka, all the sets are coming out this Friday, so keep your eyes and ears out for them wherever you buy your LEGO. And I'll definitely be picking up the Ghost at some point alongside that Coruscant Guard gunship. So if you want to see reviews, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload them videos. And though it might not be anytime soon, I have plenty of other mock ideas and other content to keep you entertained. And now let's get on to what I thought of today's episode of Ahsoka. Hello there, so I've just watched today's episode of Ahsoka and it is jam-packed with action, adventure and a bit of mystery as we start off with Sabine and Ahsoka training with this new saber. It's basically a wooden stick, but Ahsoka's trying to open Sabine up to the Force and get her to see things the way the Jedi would. And Huyang is constantly there to remind everyone she's no Jedi, and Ahsoka's telling him that she doesn't want Sabine to be a Jedi. She wants her to be herself. And Huyang does cheekily point out that she comes from a long line of people that have swayed from the Order. You've got not only Qui-Gon, then Kenobi, then Anakin, now Ahsoka, and now Sabine to complete the list. Sabine does try to reach out with the Force, but she's just not ready yet. And I do see it going a bit more into a Mandalorian culture sort of training, as Sabine is no Jedi, but if she could tap into the Force, as well as use all her skills from being a Mandalorian, that would be truly scary for any enemy that oppose it. And speaking of the enemies, to discuss the new threat that Thrawn's return may pose to the New Republic, Hera meets with Chancellor Mon Mothma. Yes, she is now Chancellor of the New Republic, and Xiono's there, Kaz's dad. If you've watched Resistance, you'll know who Kazuda Xiono is. His dad is one of the head senators, and is actually the main one to oppose the fact that Thrawn could return, accusing Hera of just wanting to bring Ezra back. Now, of course, she's the one dealing with these politics, and Ahsoka and Sabine are off on their own adventure. But it's great to see the whole fleet return to Star Wars, especially as in these scenes we not only see Hera and the two other minifigures that accompany her in the Lego Ghost set, but we also get to see Chopper with Jason Syndulla, who does in fact have green hair. So I've no idea why the Lego model hasn't included his green hair, but you can be sure it will be one of the changes I make when I buy the set. And anyway, we cut back to Ahsoka and Sabine now approaching the system where all the villains have gathered with the Ring of Sion, and as they approach Seatos, they drop out of hyperspace early, as is Jedi protocol, and get surrounded by about 6 or 7 different starfighters. Now you can tell a few of these are modified, like Shin's definitely stands out from the rest. And perhaps it would have been nice for Lego to have made an E-Wing with these other starfighters so you could sort of army build the set. But it's great we see Shin's starfighter, and they pretty much pick all of them off except for Shin and Marok. Of course, the main characters are the ones to survive. Not before the T6 shuttle does get a major blow and the power was knocked out of not only the ship, but Huyang. And Sabine gets to work quick, fixing it up and probably no doubt modifying whatever she needs to. As Ahsoka puts on this New Republic spacesuit, goes out on top of the shuttle and starts distracting Marok and Shin with her lightsabers, ending up killing off that final other person that was flying around with them. And then they get the ship back up running, go into the atmosphere at Seatos, and we are greeted with Purrgil. Now, this is the first time Sabine has seen him since Ezra's disappearance, so there's a bit of emotion there. However, we later find out that the big ring that Huyang managed to scan as they flew past it is able to travel to near galaxies outside of their own. And Huyang mentions about some old text in the Jedi Temple back in Coruscant that storied travellers going between galaxies following the routes of Purrgils. So Purrgils seem to be galaxy travelling, and it can explain why we haven't seen them since they've all migrated to the galaxy Thrawn's in and then dotted around, finally coming back to our galaxy after all this time. Now, I'm afraid they did have to sort of not crash land, but land immediately on the planet's surface and hide in the forest. All systems shut down so they can't be detected, as they weren't fit enough to leave, the hyperspace is still broken and that sort of thing. Balon has issued a forest-wide search for the Jedi and the shuttle. So next episode, you can bet we'll be able to see not only some cool forest fights like when we saw Ahsoka initially in The Mandalorian, well, live action Ahsoka, but also the ghost will hopefully come in to rescue, as I would like to see a bit more of that. But eventually Ahsoka and Sabine are hopefully going to end up travelling to the Peninsula Galaxy thing that we saw last episode and finding either Ezra or Thrawn, as I think Thrawn's still got some sort of role to play in this show. And I'd like to see either one of them before the finale. Now, that being said, we are approaching the halfway mark of this series, and it is moving very fast. They're all by the ring that we know is having its last hyperdrive fitted before it can make the jump. and they're all in a position where next episode we could end up in a different galaxy. So I'd definitely like to see what happens next week, but stay tuned, as next week I'll hopefully begin building my Ahsoka mock. And I'll first run through the process on studio, giving you a few pointers as well as my opinion on the episode. So subscribe, turn the notifications on so you do not miss that. Just hit the button, it takes 1 second, and please do like if you enjoy this style of video and enjoy my custom minifigures you saw earlier. Anyway, that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let me know down below what your favourite part of Ahsoka is so far. And don't forget, the Force is in us all. May the Force be with you, always.